Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar's Learning app. In this session, we are going to discuss about the 1857 revolt. Very interesting chapter. The revolt that was started by the soldiers, which recruited by the East Indian Company, was later spread across the country. It was V.D. Savarkar called the Revolt of 1857, also known as First War of Independence. Other than that, few people also named the 1857 revolt in a different manner. Dr. S.N. Sen, he described about the revolt as having begun as a fight for religion but ended as a war of independence. Dr. R.C. Majumdar, the famous historian, considered it as neither the first nor national nor a war of independence. The Britishers considered 1857 revolt was just a peasant or sepoy mutiny. Okay, these are all the naming behind your 1857 revolt. Then the major thing that we need to know, that is the causes. What are the causes of revolt of 1857? In that, first place, that is political cause. When the British East Indian Company focused only on the policy of annexation, they wanted to extend their territorial for the purpose of administration. Okay, so annexation and expansion through the doctrine of lapse, which introduced by Lord Dalhousie. Okay, he was a Governor General of India during the time between 1848 to 1856. Okay, so the subsidiary alliance introduced by Lord Wellesley. These are the two important policies that you need to understand. Okay, doctrine of lapse means if any princely state does not have the legal heir, means that particular state automatically annexed by the British authority. Subsidiary alliance means if any princely state sign the subsidiary alliance with the East Indian Company, there will be a different provisions. Based on that subsidiary alliance, the British troop was permanently stationed in the particular princely state, and the salary of the particular troop which stationed in that state, the salary is supposed to pay by the state itself, not by the East Indian Company. And one British official will be stationed in the court of a particular princely state, which forbidden any kind of activity in terms of political was forbidden, because it is not possible for that state to do any action without the knowledge of British. These are the intention of which one? Subsidiary alliance as well as the doctrine of lapse. For this concept, you need to know about who introduced that. Lord Dalhousie is the responsible person who introduced doctrine of lapse. Lord Wellesley, who introduced subsidiary alliance. Okay, the Religious Disabilities Act in the year of 1850 was passed. Convert from Hinduism to other religion to inherit the property of his ancestors. Okay, so all these comes under your political cause. Religious Disability Act means nothing but if I am Hindu, I am converting to Christianity, means my son used to have the rights to inherit my property. Okay, so these are all the causes of political. Next one is economic causes. The British always come up with the great strategy in terms of economically exploiting the Indian. Okay, because the source of the public resentment due to the heavy tax, okay, and stringent revenue collection program also introduced by the Britishers. So the British colonies in India got monopolized over the plantation business in indigo, jute and tea, and also coffee. Okay, so under the new revenue system of the British, the peasants and the British government got into touch with one another. For example, the revenue settlement which introduced by the British East Indian Company, which is not popular among the population of India, such Zamindari system, Riyatwari system and Mahalwari system. Okay, next one is socio-economic cause. The Britishers looked down Indians as an inferior. Okay, inferior attitude towards the Indians by the British employees, and also discriminated against the racial at every step, because the white people always discriminate against the black people. That exactly happened in the socio-economic cause. They were not allowed at many places such as parks, hotels and first class railways compartments, as they were especially reserved only for the Englishmen. It is not for the Indians. Indians were hurt by racial arrogance by the Britishers, and this led to Indians regarding the Englishmen as their worst enemies. So this complex created the enmity between Indians and the Britishers. The introduction of English education along with the propagation of Christian missionaries. The British Parliament allowed private education can be started in India. For that purpose, Christian missionaries were sent. And that changing the Hindu law of property alarmed the orthodox of Indians. So these are all the causes comes under your socio-economic. Next one is military cause. The Indian soldiers always considered inferior and also ill-treated by the high officials of the East Indian Company. And the high post in the military was completely reserved only to the Englishman. Okay, exclusively reserved for the Englishman, not for Indians. Indian soldiers were prohibited to wear the caste and religious marks while serving in the army. For example, not allowed to allowed to put tilak on their forehead, and also they were forced to wear leather cap, and Muslims were forced to shave their beard. So these kind of things were happened under the military regiment. The General Service Enlistment Act required the Sepoys to serve even on the British land across the sea. Okay, so if for example in Bengal regiment there is an army under the control of East Indian Company, means if there is a requirement in the region of Africa, so that particular army is supposed to sail over the sea. According to the Hindu religion, crossing the salt water considered to be the loss of the caste. So that is a reason, and they felt their religion in the endanger. Immediate cause. Okay, the revolt of 1857 immediate cause is like popular one, was introduction of the new Enfield greased cartridge rifle. Before loading the rifle, the Sepoy had to bitten off its top and then only it can be loaded. But what is the problem? It was believed that the grease was made from fats of cows and pigs. Okay, cow is the sacred animal of Hinduism, pig is haram in the Islam. So this was objectionable to the Hindus and Muslims. For Hindus, cows are sacred. Muslim prohibit eating pork, that is pig meat. The rumor of the greased cartridge being made of cow and pig flesh and meat sparked off the fire discontent against the British in the form of a revolt. This considered as the immediate cause. Okay, now where are the places in India which the revolt got started? Delhi. Okay, Delhi, we have a leader associated with the revolt, Bahadur Shah Jafar II from the Mughal Empire. Lucknow, Begum Asrat Mahal. Kanpur, Nana Sahib. Jhansi and Gwalior, okay, Lakshmibai, Rani Lakshmibai and Tantia Top. Bareilly, Khan Bahadur Khan. Allahabad and Benares, okay, Maulia Liaquat Ali. Bihar, Kunwar Singh. These are the popular leaders who associated with the 1857 revolt. So now places and the leaders. We already know the places and leaders. We need to know about who did the suppression, because British always come up with the severe action against Indians if they do anything against their authority. Such John Nicholson is the responsible personality in the region of Delhi, and Henry Lawrence in the region of Lucknow, Sir Colin Campbell in the region of Kanpur, General Hugh Ross in the region of Jhansi and Gwalior, Sir Colin Campbell, Bareilly, and William Taylor in the region of Bihar, Colonel Onsell in the region of Allahabad and Benares. All these British officials were responsible to suppress the revolt as well as execution of these leaders. Few leaders escaped also. Causes of failure. Why this 1857 revolt got failure? We need to understand that factor as well. Bahadur Shah has gone old and weak. It's not possible for him to be a strong ruler. Okay, the revolt was poorly organized, no central leadership, okay, or coordination among the soldiers. There was a limited territorial spread of the revolt. Most part of the India remained more or less unaffected. Okay, which we can take 1/4 of the Indian territory only participated in the 1857 revolt, and 1/3 of the population only participated here. Okay, so many zamindars, such rich peasants and traders supported the Britishers in the 1857 revolt. Modern educated Indians viewed the revolt as the backward looking. The Indian soldiers were poorly equipped materially. The revolt lacked a clear understanding of the British rule, was poorly prepared because they don't know the exact intention of the British rule over India. Okay, what are the effects? The East Indian Company's rule in India came to an end. Now, the India comes under the control of the crown, directly ruled by the crown. That is the first important effect. The offices of Governor General was replaced by that of the Viceroy. The Viceroy directly nominated by the crown. Okay, the rights of Indian rulers were recognized and doctrine of lapse was abolished. See, what the crown realized, the princely states annexation is the major reason behind this 1857 revolt, because most of the leaders got agitated because of that policy. So the rights of Indian rulers were recognized. They can rule their land. And also the doctrine of lapse, whatever the annexation happened, and subsidiary alliance, whatever the princely states signed the subsidiary alliance was completely abolished based on the Queen Victoria's proclamation in the year of 1858. The restructuring was done in army, but armory remained in the hands of the English only. They reduced the number of high officials in the army, and also more number of people who recruited in the army from the British itself. So they increased the white man and decreases the number of Indians in the army as well. These are all the effect happened after the revolt of 1857. Okay, so based on this, what was the role of Tantia Top in the 1857 mutiny? He was commander-in-chief of the army of Nana Sahib. When Nana Sahib escaped to Nepal, and he asked Tantia Top to go and help Rani Lakshmibai in the war. Who was the Governor General during 1857 revolt? Lord Canning. He is the Governor General and himself became the first Viceroy of India as well. First Viceroy of India. Okay, Sir Hugh Ross described who as the best and bravest military leader of the rebel, Rani Lakshmibai. Okay, practice more number of questions on the same topic. We'll see you in the next session. Thank you.